Evening, everyone, and thank you for being on our call tonight. Um, I am Antoinette Renee Allen, and I am part of the Debt Weapon Program. I want to welcome each and everyone to the call tonight. Do we have any new individuals on the line? If you just want to say hi, you're welcome to do that at this time. We'll take just a minute. You don't feel pressured because you don't have to.
This is Sandra Fisher. Thank you for the invitation, and I'm looking forward to the information that you're going to be providing. So good evening, everyone.
Thank you, Sandra, for coming. I appreciate you being here. Thank you. Okay, so we're gonna move on. So we, like always, we try to, keep our call to an hour, but we may go over because we always want to be respectful of everyone's time. Everyone works during the week, and Friday is the day everyone wants to kick back. So without further ado, we want to welcome you to the Debt Welcome Program, our Velocity Banking Program. And we want to start, as we always do, with our declaration. So if you can unmute yourselves and just repeat after me, and then, engage with us, this part of our presentation, I would greatly appreciate it. So we're going to begin with "This is my life.
This is my life.
This is my life.
I declare today my mindset has changed.
I declare today my mindset has changed.
I am clear about my path.
I am clear about my path.
I am debt free.
I am debt free.
I walk in the understanding of my finances.
I walk in the understanding of my finances.
I control my spending habits.
I control my spending habits.
I am not a consumer.
I am not a consumer.
I am an investor.
I am an investor.
My money works for me.
My money works for me.
All things are possible to me because I believe.
All things are possible because I believe.
I am financially sexy.
I am financially sexy.
And I won't give up.
And I won't give up.
Hey, great. Thank you guys for participating in that.
That'd be dark.
What happened?
No, I was talking to Joy.
Oh, okay. So I just want to introduce some of the coaches. I'm Renee Allen, one of the Debt Weapon coaches, and we have two other coaches. I know Brandon's on the line. I'm not sure if Rosie has joined us, but Brandon, if you're there, you can show yourself and say hello to everyone on the line.
Absolutely. So hello, everyone. It's a pleasure. I am definitely one of the Debt Weapon coach. I do have our contact information in the chat window as well. If you guys have any questions for me or anyone on the team, definitely don't hesitate, reach out to us, and we'll be glad to help you. And so welcome you guys on the call tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Brandon. I don't know if Rosie is on the call. If you are, Rosie, can you say hello? I can't see you. She may not be on, she said, tonight. So, but if not, this is Rosie, one of the other coaches. She is also the membership chair. She is the individual that would be the person you would contact if you decided to become a part of this great and awesome team. So we're just going to go ahead and we're going to talk about the man who actually put this program together for us. He's a gentleman who has a passion for educating individuals about financing. This is Mr. Sabor Al-Demiri and his beautiful wife, Joy. And he is teaching and creating a legacy with this whole Debt Weapon program. So a little bit about him. He's a husband, a father, a mentor, he's a real estate investor. He has 29 properties, approximately $1.7 million in assets. He is an accredited investor. He's an acquisition manager of about $40 million funds. That's in Texas, Florida, Georgia, and South Carolina. He and his colleagues broker about $2.5 million a month. He's known as the mortgage note broker in the world of mortgage lending. He has 4 LLCs. He is a consultant of the Velocity Banking, Credit Services, and Real Estate Investing. So Sabor is a wonderful mentor. And as I said before, he has just a great passion to teach and educate individuals about different strategies on how to grow money and how to grow wealth. So what is Velocity Banking? I know you guys a lot have been on the call a lot. New people, just, the people that have been on the call, you know what this is, but we always go through this for just new individuals. So just to break this down for you, what is velocity banking? It's a strategy that uses a line of credit to pay off debts faster than the traditional method and helps you quickly become debt free, as well as boosting your credit score. So this is a strategy that he teaches us to help us leverage and be able to play in the game of finances. So a lot of people may not have heard about velocity banking, but I know you may saying, okay, well, what is velocity banking? And some questions you might even have about velocity banking. So some of the questions that I had when I first started this was, velocity banking is a totally new concept to me. I never heard of this before until this year. Will it help my situation? And it has helped me. And I've only been a part of the program for 4 months, and it's made a significant impact on my finances. Is this, if it's so good, why haven't I heard about it? And I really come to the conclusion, the reason why people haven't heard about this, because people are not getting paid commission to tell you about it. So if somebody was making money off of this, believe me, you would know about it. But this man, Sabor, he's not really making money off of this, but he is teaching us about this. The whole process doesn't really make sense. It didn't make sense to me in the beginning, but now it does. And I was nervous about making a dramatic change in my finances. And I also thought, hey, can I afford this? But the really question was, is I could not afford to do this. So it is an interesting concept. So hopefully tonight we'll be able to enlighten you a little bit more. So the debt weapon is, if you use the velocity banking or not, you still will have to pay your bills, right? No matter what we do, we still have to pay. So the question is how much do you want to pay? You want to pay more overtime the traditional way, or do you want to pay less overtime using this concept of the velocity strategy? So only thing that we do is ask you just to listen in. If you have questions, trust the process here, trust God, trust yourself. And if you are part of the program or decide to become a part of the program, just to trust your coach. So I'm not gonna prolong this any longer. I do want to present to you the speaker of the hour, Mr. Sabor Al-Demiri, the wonderful mentor, the man of great passion to help us get educated in this financial world. And if Sabor, if you can hear me, I am going to turn this over to you at this time, and you can then take over the call.
How's everybody doing? How's my lovely people doing? Let me turn my video. Let me turn my video on. Sorry. Y'all ready, rock and roll? Y'all ready, rock and roll?
Yeah, we ready.
We not. I'm just playing. I'm not going to do it. All right. So tonight I want to talk about, if anybody got my emails, I want to talk about the 10 things that keep us broke. The reason why I want to talk about this, because, I'm moving, and first thing you do, and especially when you move in and you get funds, the first thing you want to do is spend your money. And not to say anything bad about my wife, but but sometimes you want to spend funds unwisely, you know what I'm saying? So I figured that I wanted to make this a topic, because it's not only talking to you guys, it's talking to me too, tonight, about, the things that keep us broken, keep us not thinking on the level of investors. Y'all gotta forgive me. I got like all these screens around me, so I'm trying to blow up my screen so I can see everybody. I lost my chat here. Okay, there we go. Okay, everybody, y'all can see me? We're good? Sorry. All right, so tonight I want to talk about, the things that keep us broken, keep us living paycheck to paycheck. Hopefully we can find this information helpful to you guys and benefit you as we grow all together. First thing I want to talk about is you always start with our questions here. So all my new people, bear with me. You'll learn to understand it as we go through the slides tonight. I try to do a PowerPoint because Sabor do rant, and I'll have you on the phone for a couple of hours if you let me. So I try to keep it simple. But for my people that's been in the call for a while, you know what time it is. Y'all ready? All right. How much available credit do we recommend? Anybody on the call? Can y'all hear me?
We can hear you.
All right. How much credit do we recommend that somebody have?
You don't want the coaches to answer that, do you?
No, not yet. I want my people that's in the group because they need. I see like 12 people on the call right now, so I need my
Okay, so
people in
you
the
have
group.
an answer from Ed that says as much as possible.
Yeah, that's true, Ed. But what's the minimum?
100, 100 to 150?
Yeah, 100 and 150 in available credit. Appreciate you. All right, so if I have a HELOC for $10,000 and a credit card for $10,000, how much available credit do I have? I have a HELOC for $10,000 and a credit card for $10,000. How much available credit do I have?
20,000.
All right, appreciate you. Jonas, you on the road tonight.
I was gonna say Jonas is on the road tonight.
All
Go
right.
ahead, Jonas.
All right, name some lines of credit.
B-Lock, C-Lock. Just playing.
Go ahead, now you got it. Go ahead.
I want to let somebody else answer.
Oh,
I'll
okay. All right, somebody name some lines of credit. My coaches, you can tap in now.
All right, so we got a P-lock, a B-lock, a HELOC, and the credit cards.
All right, appreciate you. All right, what is the easiest way to build our children's credit? So
By adding them on as authorized users on our credit cards.
Yes, correct. Appreciate you. Thank you. All right, and your line of credit becomes your new what? Once we teach you the strategy, your line of credit needs to become your new what?
Your new savings account,
Your new checking account.
checking account.
Yes, thank you. All right, and what is paycheck parking?
Allocating each part of your paycheck each paycheck to your credit card.
Or so your line of credit, whatever method that you use. All right. And what is chunking? We just went over this last week. Somebody got to answer this one. What is chunking? Everybody stuck? All right, so chunking is when you take a lump sum of money off of one of your lines of credit and drop it to principal only to one of your loans, okay? And last question I always ask is, has this program been beneficial to you so far?
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Yes.
So last week we talked about refinancing and interest rates. So I got a call early this week, and a young man, I'm not gonna say his name, but a young man, he wanted to argue the fact that I was saying never ever refinance. And you got to ask yourself, when banks and stuff like that push down refinancing down your throat, I don't care if it's refinancing a car or a mortgage, you have to question those things. That's what got me to this level that I am now, because I started questioning everything that moved in front of me dealing with finances. Okay. So I'm just going to run through this slide real fast before we get into what we're talking about tonight, the 10 things that keep us broke. But so on this slide right here, again, we're revisiting the refinance, cash out refinance. So when you take a cash out refinancing, what you're doing is you're replacing your home loan to a new home loan, right? So it's typically you do get a lower interest rate. That's why most people refinance, because they want a lower interest rate. However, the difference between cash out refinance is that your new loan is going to be a higher balance than you currently owe on your home. So with the money from the new loan, a larger loan, you pay off your existing lender, because your lenders have to be in the first lien position on your refinance, right? Then then that additional money from the new loan, after they pay that off, is called your cash out, the money that's left over, right? So in here, I put an example of a cash out refinance and what it may look like. So your current mortgage balance is $250, right? And then your refinance balance is going to be $280. So the cash out is going to be $30,000 minus the $5,000 closing cost. So you'll walk away with $25,000 cash refinance on the cash out refinance. Most people are going to use that money for improvements of home, pay off bills, or something like that, right? So for the example, if your home is worth $350 and you owe $250 on your original mortgage, you have $100,000 in equity. $350, $250, $100,000 in equity, right? Now, assuming you don't have a second mortgage, just the first mortgage, right? But you won't be able to get a $100,000 check at closing, which most people think when they do a cash out refinance. The lender is going to calculate 80% of your home value. So what you're going to have to take is the 350 minus 20%. And then that's going to give you that case of the 280, right? Now this is called the LTV, the maximum loan to value. All right, so when you refinance, the new loan is worth 280. And again, you pay off your existing loan. That amount of equity left over is the 30,000, right? Because I had this argument, so I just want to make sure you understand, because I know he's on the call. All right. So now that the amount that you have left over, which comes out to $30,000, you take away cash out is going to be $25,000. Okay. And it's still a valuable asset, but only a quarter of the $100,000 that you built in home equity by paying down that mortgage over the years. So his argument with me was he get a lower interest rate, but I'm asking him at what cost? Because now you have a new loan at a higher dollar amount. All right. Now, also, most people don't realize the closing cost is what you have to recoup in order for you to actually see the benefit in refinancing. So in his case, his closing cost was $5,000. Remember, his savings after refinancing was $307. So if you multiply 5,000 divide 5,000 by 307, it's going to take 16.5 years just to recoup for him to see that benefit because he got a lower interest rate. Make sense? Anybody that refinanced on here before? Does this make sense? What I'm saying? All right. So I gave an example here, so I just want everybody to follow along with me, all right? So 4 years ago, he paid $250,000, right? At a 5% interest rate on a 30-year term. His current payment is $1,342. That's principal interest, not including taxes and insurance. So his current balance now, after 4 years of payment, is going to be $233,708. The interest that he will pay over the term of loan is going to be $233,000. And that's why he wants to refinance, because he sees the amount of interest that he's going to pay over the years, right? So he refinances for today's current interest rate, which is 2% on an ARM. An ARM, a 5-year ARM, basically means that you have a 30-year note, but after 5 years, you're going to either have to refinance out again, which means start your loan all over again, or you're going to have to, they're going to take you out of the ARM and you're going to be bumped up to the current interest rate that's going on at that time, whatever the market index is, right? So again, he saved $307.12 a month by refinancing on the 2% ARM. So now his current balance, which is higher, because remember he only owed $233,708. Now his current balance is going to be $279,431. Again, even though that he's getting a lower interest rate, he started a new loan. Right. So now he's looking at, well, instead of paying, he's saying to boys, instead of paying the $233 in interest, I'm only going to pay $92,000 in interest. So now his cash out, instead of 25, his cash out is going to be 41. Okay. Now I'm going to go over to the same situation. Now he got to he refinances at 280 for a fixed interest rate, which is currently 2.53 fixed. So now his monthly payment is going to be $1,110. So from the old mortgage payment that he was paying at $1,342, he's going to save $231 monthly, right? His current balance is roughly the same, $279,479. The interest he's going to pay on that loan is going to be $119.85, right? Now, most people, again, are going to argue the monthly payment that he doesn't have to pay anymore, the $1,342, or the interest rate that he won't have to pay from the original loan because it was a 5% interest rate. But again, our argument is always look at your current balance. Am I going to add $40,000 more and lose the years that I previously already paid down, the 4 years, for a new loan because it's going to possibly save me money? And again, remember, he has to add those closing costs in there. Say those closing costs on either one of those, the ARM or the fixed rate, it's going to be 5,000. He got to divide that savings, and it'll tell you how many years it's going to have to recoup. Again, the first one is going to be 16.5, and the second one is going to be 12.5 years. In order for him to even see a savings, most people don't stay in their house that long. Does that make sense? All right. So, anyways, before I move on to the HELOC, let me say the only time that you possibly could do a refinance is if you're going to refinance for your current mortgage, current mortgage balance. You're not refinancing for a cash out. Okay, and I gave an example on this. So his current balance was 238, including the 5,000 closing costs. He renews a new loan for 30 years at the 2.53, and now his monthly payment is going to be 944 minus from that 13 something, right? So he makes a saving almost $400 here. Again, it's going to take him 12.5 years to recoup the closing costs from that savings, and the total interest he paid on the new 30 years is going to be 101. All right. However, you have to look at that he extended his loan for, he paid down for 4 years. Now he added another 4 years to that loan. Make sense? All right, so let's talk about it the way we teach you on the debt weapon way, which is the HELOC way, okay? So a HELOC, everybody knows a HELOC is a second mortgage. It doesn't take place of the first mortgage. So when you go get a HELOC, you're gonna get more money back from your cash out, your equity in the property, okay? So most HELOC typically have a draw period of 10 years, meaning that if you have a 30-year HELOC, you have 10 years to borrow money from and then 20 years to pay back. Okay, so we're going to use the same example. The property praises for $350. The current balance on the property is $233. The equity, so again, the banks is going to use on a HELOC most of the time 90% loan to value, so not 80% loan to value. So that equity from 90% is going to be $315. So minus the $315 from his current balance, he'll get a HELOC of $81,000 and $81,860. That's his HELOC, not no $40,000 or no $25,000. That's his HELOC. He got 80, right? Anybody on this group, how much do we tell you not to go over on your credit?
30%.
30%.
All right. So now, because if you go over 30%, it makes your credit score tank. If you stay under 30%, your credit score goes up every month. So with $81,000, he has an available credit of 24.5 basically. So he can borrow up to $24,000. Remember, he was getting a cash out for 25. He was getting 30 minus the closing costs. He'll walk away with 25. But now you're allowed to use up 24.5 on your credit, right? So if he did it the way that we teach you, and he has a monthly cash flow of $2,500 left over every month after all his bills. Okay, so we're going to take $10,000 from his line of credit, his HELOC, and do a chunk. Remember, a chunk means dropping that onto the principal only of your loan. So he's going to take the $10,000 and drop it on the chunk of his mortgage. And it's going to take with $2,500 left over, his cash flow, he pays back to his line of credit every month. That means he'll have that $10,000 that he borrowed paid off every 4 months. Make sense? So with that being paid off every 4 months, if we continuously do that on the 5th month, take $10,000, then pay 4 months to pay back that $10,000. 4 months, drop $10,000, pay back 4 months of with the $2,500 cash flow. Every 4 months, he'll have that mortgage, not the HELOC, not the loan, not the new amortized thing that he just refinanced. He'll have that whole property paid off in 84 months. Only thing he'll have left over is the last payment of $2,500 on the 85th month. Now, I know this doesn't make sense, so I'm going to show improved numbers, guys. So I'm going to pull this up real fast so everybody can follow along what I'm saying here, okay? All right, give me 1 second here. I got to find my, here we go. All right, so I just went ahead and inputted the numbers, right? I'm just going to use the start date of today's date. So he has a current loan balance again of $233, $139 interest rate. I'm going to use the 5% interest rate. keep him where he currently is. Remember, we ain't doing nothing with the mortgage. We're not refinancing. We're not taking the cash out. He's using his current mortgage balance, right? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to drop $10,000 down on principal only from one of my lines of credit, right? And then every fifth month, we're going to count down. Every fifth month, he's going to pay back that line of credit by using his cash flow. It's $2,500. So already, remember, he was worried about the money he's going to pay in interest. It's like $233,000 he's going to pay in interest, right? So already he already saved $32,000 in interest by dropping that $10,000 on that loan. Okay, so again, $10,000 on the first payment every 4 months. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Drop another $10,000. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Drop another $10,000 from the line of credit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're just going to go all the way down to that 85th month. 1, 2, I can't count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. So in 84 months, he had that mortgage paid off. So 7 years even, he had that mortgage paid off. Look how much money he saved in interest, what he was worried about he was going to pay. He didn't have to refinance for a higher interest, lower interest rate and take on, even though, and take on a new loan that was going to be at a higher dollar amount. He took it, he used his money by using the HELOC method and taking $10,000. Remember, he was allowed to borrow $25,000 off of that HELOC. He only used $10,000, so he stayed way under 30%. And every month that he dropped $10,000 down on that mortgage, his credit score boosts up, as well as he's paying back down his HELOC. He rinse and repeat the same thing every 4 months. On the fifth month, he dropped $10,000 off onto principal only. He paid off his mortgage in 7 years. The last payment that he had to make was the 85th month. He only had to pay this little bit amount of money plus the $10,000. I mean, the other $2,500 that he had left off of his HELOC, free and clear of a property in 7 years, not 30 years that he had to renew and lose the 4 years that he did by refinancing on that property. Does that make sense to anybody? This was my argument to him. We have to start thinking about our numbers. We have to know our numbers. We have to know what makes sense and how do we educate ourselves, how we move forward as a people. Instead of playing the banks, letting the banks play us, we play the banks. Okay, because all he did was use OPM. He used other people's money to pay off his debt. I know Brandon is on the call. Brandon is using this strategy right now for his personal property and have that property paid off. I think it's next year, Brandon.
That is correct. Yep.
Okay. But anybody have a question with that before I move on? Because he was arguing me down this week, so I had to do it to him this week so he could understand. Because he's trying to argue me that refinancing would save him money, but I'm telling him doing it this way is going to save you not only money, because now he has a property free and clear in 7 years. Now, think about it. Now he has a property that was at $350,000 back then, 7 years ago. How much do you think this property is worth now? And not only that, he has a property free and clear. That's all equity. So he can get a line of credit on all of that. Not only that, remember the draw period on the HELOC is 10 years, right? He did it in 7 years, so he still has 3 more years of draw before he cannot take any money off that HELOC again. Now he can take either he can do another HELOC, he can purchase another HELOC, apply for another HELOC, or he can take that 24K and do the strategies we teach and put it on an investment property. He'll take out a mortgage, get pre-approved for a mortgage, right? So when you get pre-approved for a mortgage, he doesn't have to worry about a down payment because he has the down payment in the form of his HELOC. and use the same method. So imagine he had already had $2,500 cash flow. Imagine that he get a property with a renter in there, and he turned that renter into a homeowner by using seller financing. Now he's bringing in another $1,000. He's going to pay off that $10,000 even faster. Not every 4 months. He'll pay it off every 2, almost 3 months now. And he continuously rinse and repeat the same thing over and over until he gets to the numbers. You know, I always recommend a minimum of 10 properties. That way you'll have at least $10,000 coming in in case anything happens, your job bellies up, blah, blah, blah. Okay, make sense? All right. So, all right, on to tonight's topic. I want to talk about. So before I move on, this basically what I want to say, because I know sometimes I'll be speaking fast, or, you know, and I'm a numbers guy, and I understand I want everybody to be critical and analyze everything that I say. You know, I don't want nobody to take anything with a grain of salt, nothing in this life, you know. But the main thing I want you all to take away from this is that you can have a property, you can have a mortgage note, you can have a business or whatever for free. There's only one moving part that you have to understand, and that's power of leverage. If you learn how to leverage your name by in the form of your credit, I like to call it your adult report card, then once you learn that power of leverage, there's nothing to stop you from building wealth. There's nothing to stop you from building generational wealth or passive income. Everybody that's been in this group, they can tell you they've created some kind of form of passive income just by leveraging their credit, their time, and their name in their adult report card. Okay. All right. So anyways, on with tonight's topic, because I'll start ranting. All right. So we're going to talk about the 10 things that keep us broke. You know, ignoring your debt, your credit profile, refusing to learn, but not only learn, but act. Because a lot of people can learn, they get their analysis paralysis. Speaking negative, not budgeting, not being teachable, spending more than you earn, not investing in yourself, procrastination, and job. Thinking a 9 to 5 will make you rich. And lastly, is not believing in yourself. So I think this is the biggest problem. And most people that in this program would tell you that for years they wouldn't even look at their credit profile. They was like, you know, they already knew it was ugly, so they just didn't pay attention and stuff like that. But, you know, a lot of times what we teach in this program, I even talk to people about their finances, they don't know their numbers. And when I mean numbers, they don't know their income, they don't know their expenses, and they don't know their cash flow. Those are the major things that you need for this program in order for you, you know, to make changes in order how to leverage your credit or your money for you to actually grow. Okay. So I always say you must know your numbers. You must know your numbers. Okay. The reason why this is so important for financial growth is because it takes mentally, it makes you aware of your habits. Honestly, not only that, it changes your mindset from a consumer to an investor, which I hope everybody's on this call or a business owner, everybody's on this call are geared towards or have a goal or a dream to be an investor or a business owner. Okay. And again, I don't knock somebody working a W-2 job, but again, a job to me is just over broke. You know, you never know when you're gonna get laid off. You never know what's gonna happen. We're in a second wave of COVID, you know, those types of things. I didn't have to worry about COVID. We actually made money during COVID. So, you know, so I just want to make sure that you understand, know your numbers. Make sure you have a goal to invest. Use that money wisely. Don't be a consumer. Don't go buy stuff. You know, buy an investment property, buy a business, something that's going to generate you money that then you can go buy those things that you like, those things that you need. Okay. So what we're teaching is the foundation lessons, and it's the driving force to becoming financially free. All right. So next slide is going to be basically refusing to act. All right. So when we talk about analysis paralysis, I just mentioned that's where you learn something and you never jump. You just want to continuously learn. I got to know more, support. I don't understand, support. This doesn't make sense in support. And then we start over analyzing or overthinking, and then it prevents the individual from making decisions that you never actually move. And I think a lot of times, even every group that I've been in, a business group, you always hear that, you know, it was something that's stopping them, and it's always themselves. You know what I'm saying? So, and maybe somebody got scammed before in the past, somebody got hurt before in the past, somebody lost money before in the past. So now they want to know everything, and they get the analysis paralysis. You know, Brandon tell you when he first learned about this thing that I'm teaching, he was like, nah, the numbers just don't make sense. I'm like, man, just jump out there. You know what I'm saying? You get to start thinking and start trying to overanalyzing. And again, I want you to question everything. But again, you have to act. And especially if you're reading books and you find information that's very appealing, but you don't act, then you're always going to lose. So you got to learn how to act. Not only just learn, but you got to act. You know, my wife would tell you I'm the type of person I'll jump off the roof and say, I'm gonna make my parachute on the way down. I'm gonna find my way, you know, I'm gonna find a way to succeed because I'm not gonna let people see me fail. I just won't. I won't let people see me fail. And anybody on this call, y'all ain't never gonna see support fail. I'm always gonna win. All right. So, but you must learn, but note, you know, but note, I always say reward always come with risk. And if you're not really willing to risk anything, then don't expect no reward. All right, so speaking negative, a lot of people speak negativity into existence. I sometimes have never thoughts that keep me up at night. Everybody that knows me know I don't sleep, but I don't try to focus on my negative thoughts. I always try to replace them with positive things. I put in here that I've had some people that doubted me and still may doubt my ability and may look for my downfall. But again, that's my driving force, you know, that old song, High Haters, you know, I'm always going to win no matter what. So you got to make sure that your mindset, it's not about confidence or being over cocky, but you got to remove the negative people and the negative things from your mindset in order for you to grow. You know, those things keep us broke when we think negative. Again, we've been taught a lot of negative thoughts about money. You know, growing up, we always heard, don't ask me for nothing. Money don't grow on trees. You know, when you go in the store, you better not touch nothing. You know, all those type of things. Even some of the places, like, you know, unfortunately, we hear in churches, you know, or places of worship where people say, you know, Jesus was broke, or if you look at all the prophets, they were broke. Nobody had wealth, or nobody did this, and it makes it seem like having wealth is being bad, and it makes us mentally, it conditions us to believe that money is bad. So when we look at people that have money or people that's rich, we always think they scammed somebody or robbed somebody or did something shaky for them in order to have financial success. And that's not the case. You know, I've worked with a lot of millionaires over the years, and they've been some of the nicest people. They give you the shirt off their back. So, you know, you have to make sure you not speak negative into your existence, even you're talking about somebody else. You see somebody have something nice that you want, say, man, that car is nice, man. I'm gonna get me one, you know, or you see something that you want, you have to start speaking good things into existence and stop saying, you know, everybody did on Facebook, everybody knows social media. We all know Caddy Patty, that lady that just always saying something negative. Like if you even scroll past her comments or anything, her posts, because she's always having something negative. Her day is bad. She broke a leg, she broke an ankle. It's always negative. It's always drama. You know, you have to separate yourself from those people and find like-minded people that's going to push you forward. You know, again, I put it here in the notes. Negative mindsets can affect your finances, and because of the things that we've been taught, we have to unlearn and relearn good, positive thoughts about money. I listen to affirmations. I read financial books. Anybody that's in the group, they know there's a list of financial books that we recommend for you all to make sure that you get. Your coaches also make sure that you're reading those books and follow it with you. So that's my next one. I just want to leave that on that. Next one is not budgeting. Believe it or not, most people is going to get paid. Money goes in their checking account. They pay their bills, and then they live off the rest, right? And when I say live off the rest, they're actually living off the rest. That's the rest of the money they have to spend to go to the club, to go to dinner, to take the family out, whatever. They're not budgeting. So they literally don't even take none of that money to put it aside. They just live paycheck to paycheck, wanting to know or wait to see if they're going to have some money left over until their following paycheck. You know, me and my wife used to have a friend. I swear she used to call us like every other Wednesday, asking us to borrow a couple of dollars until that Friday, because she done went out and blew her money. But we knew this lady used to go to the club like every week. You know what I mean? So I got to the point, I'm like, no, we're not doing it anymore. She'd give it back to us. You know, she was good for it, but at the same time, like, where's your money? Or like, where's your budgeting? You know, what are you doing with your life? So again, I just put in here, you know, making a budget is an important thing you can do to manage your money. But many people are reluctant to take that beneficial step. You may associate budgeting with restrictions and a lot of hassle and headaches, or you may feel like you're poor to budget. I got money, I still budget. I'm frugal. Well, Renee will tell you I'm frugal, but if people come and visit me, I take care of them, but I'm frugal. I still have the same $100 that's been in my wallet folded up probably about 4 years. And that's just my reminder that I'll never be broke again. So again, you have to start knowing your numbers and you have to be frugal, okay? All right, so, and I think this is the biggest thing that next to not acting is, again, not being teachable or coachable. Anybody that's on here plays sports and teams like that, you always seen that person, that kid that had that talent, but he had too much talent that he wasn't teachable and coachable. And those are the people that you don't see succeed or go to the big league. You know, they're working, 9 to 5 jobs or whatever right now, and they pure talent. You know, I got a friend, man, he could have been in the NBA, but he doing drywall right now because he wasn't teachable, you know. So, I think this is the biggest thing that I want to talk about is, you have to be teachable. You have to learn. Even when people call me and they'll call me and I'll tell them to do something and it becomes an argument. And I'm like, bro, you're not listening to what I'm telling you. You're not teachable. Like, why are you calling me? Why am I spending my time trying to tell you something? You're not going to do it. You just call me to argue your point. Even when I was talking about the young man about refinancing, you just call me to argue your point, not to be teachable. So we have to learn how to be teachable in order for us to learn how to increase our finances and not be living paycheck to paycheck or just living just over broke. Okay. And I put it here, and I think this is important, is we call it ballooning, because we'll teach people how to pay down their lines of credit at an accelerated rate, and we've had people have much success. They'll pay down all their debts off in a matter of 4 to 5 months, and they're debt-free now. But the next thing they do is they balloon their debt. They go buy more consumerized stuff and throw up that debt again because they know the program, they think they can pay it back down. Again, I want you to start thinking like this. I will pay off my debt at accelerated rate. I will use that money that I paid down to buy me a performing asset. I don't care if it's peer-to-peer lending, a mortgage note, a business. I would buy a performing, even if it was a car and you put it on Turo, something that's going to generate you income. And then you will buy the things that you need. Okay. And my wife, I always say the same thing. She wants another Mercedes. I'm like, well, we'll buy another property, let that property pay for your car in many more years to come. So start thinking on the level of an investor and not a consumer. And that's my biggest worry. And Renee and Brandon tell you every time we have our coaches meeting, I'm like, are you talking to your clients? Are they, make sure they're not ballooning, their debt, even though they paid it off now. And we have a lot of people that paid off their debt, their credit score shot through the roof. They don't follow the steps, ask for the credit line increases, but I just want to make sure that we're not buying consumer stuff and building more debt up, okay? And again, that comes with my next slide, which is going to be spending more than you earn.
Sabor, I don't know what happened. I think, did my screen come up?
No, I'm still, can y'all see me on my screen?
I can.
Okay,
Yeah, we still can see you, bro.
okay.
Oh, no, I'm okay. I lost you, but I'm back now.
Okay, I'm trying to speed through these so we can get to the question and answers. Anybody got anything? So please take your questions down. Spending more than you earn. When you spend more than you earn, it's hard to reach your money goals or your financial goals. To be honest, if your overdraft or your credit cards were to vanish, could you survive? Living paycheck to paychecks was once our reality. I blamed it on income. I didn't make enough money or whatever. And then, when I started realizing my finances and my spending habits, I was realizing that I was actually spending more money than I was actually making. Most times when we start our debt weapon program and people assign a coach and we get their finances and we start going over, they'll have a negative cash flow. And that negative cash flow, once we start looking at all the debt that they have and all the stuff that they don't purchase, all the subscriptions they don't have, they're overspending, they're over leveraging themselves that they don't have a cash flow. And, we teach them, okay, do this, and that, and then they actually have a cash flow. But a lot of times we spend more than we earn, and that's why we have those negative numbers, and that's why it looks like we're hurting when we're really not hurting. We're just not budgeting, and we have just poor habits. I put down here, you have today take responsibility of your habits or your finances. Again, this program and what we teach is all about leverage. It's all about knowing your numbers, and it's very, very simple. It sounds, I'm talking it, it sounds crazy, but it's very simple, practical steps. Any members on the call, they can tell you that this is nothing but it's life changing because it was all it is one simple twist. Again, it's one simple turn that you'll add to your finances that will actually change your financial situation. All right. And then next one is not investing in yourself, not setting goals. We have people that don't set goals in life, not honoring your intuition, you'll feel something is good, like even this program is good, but then you'll have that negative thought, and that negative thought wears on your mind that you pull away from it, or, not investing time in your creativity is a major thing. Investing in not investing in building your confidence. Again, I listen to positive affirmations every morning, night before I go to bed. My wife will tell you I have a YouTube. I'll put the TV on big screen and just blast my affirmations around here. Not reading educational books. That is very important to me. Is that old saying, you want to hide something from somebody, you put it in the book. You have to read, you have to educate yourself. I've been doing mortgage notes and I've been in banking for 19 years now, and I still read and I different financial books. I still go on Bloomberg every morning and study the charts. I see what the forex is doing. I see what the market is doing. Those type of things, because I know, especially me being an acquisition manager, the mortgage index is tied to a lot of the indexes that do have to deal with goods. So if the goods index are going up, that means the mortgage prices are going up. That means more people are going to be selling financing. So I try to make sure I educate and read and know my markets. So you have to make sure you know your markets. If you have a business, or if you're on this call, Renee, we have partnerships in real estate. We watch the real estate market. I know people have different business on this call. You need to know your market. You know your index in order for you to know how your market is turning, how you're going to grow, how your business is going to grow, how your business is going to suffer, blah, blah, blah. Okay. I'm not a big seminar guy no more in workshops, but I did put this in here for people that's new, especially on my mortgage note learning side, because I get a lot of people coming to me to learn about mortgage notes, and they literally don't know anything about mortgage notes at all. But I'm not, again, I used to do the seminars, and to me, it was just a sales pitch. Everybody was trying to sell me something, and I'm not the one to be sold, You get a whole bunch of half, Rosie not on the call tonight, you get half-assed information.
She's on tonight. She came
Oh,
on.
sorry.
She's here.
You get half information and not enough that it actually move you to the next level. Again, what we try to teach you, I'm not trying to hold you, I'm not trying to be your crutch, I'm not trying to be your anything. I'm trying to teach you how to be independent with your finances and your money and actually move you forward. I have partners, but the partners that I have, the partners I chose, and those are the people that I actually rely on to help me move forward. You know what I'm saying? Not somebody I can rely, fall back on and crutch off of and have them lean on me. We all work together as a group to push each other forward, So attend seminars and workshops, to expand your knowledge and your skills in your business and your personal life is what I put here. Again, not taking care of your health is a big thing. I'm not even going that because we all, we make excuses, and it comes with that. And also investing in coaches and mentors. Most of y'all have met my mentors, my different mentors that I have over the years. My mentor that taught me this program myself, but I learned this program years ago before it even had a name. It's out in the public now. It was just something I was like, man, how is you creating this money? You are 25 years old, and I'm 30 years old. You got mansions and, living in condos and stuff like that. So, invest in a mentor. It doesn't have to be a paid mentor. Somebody that you look up to, somebody that has the things that you want, find, YouTube is the wonderful world. You can type in millionaire speaks and find somebody that you admire to or look up to and use that. But you have to make sure you invest in a mentor, especially if you have business goals, whatever your business is, find something in the business background that you're currently in or looking to get into. Next one is going to be everybody's favorite, which is procrastination. Somebody said to me earlier this week, "Oh man, I meant to get to that, Sabor." And I'm like, "Well, why you didn't get to it?" Because procrastination. We procrastinate. Especially it becomes bad when it comes to our money. I'm gonna do my budget later. I have a worksheet that I use. I fill it out every week, every Friday. I get up early morning every Friday at 4:30 in the morning, and I pay all my lines of credit and I pay my bills. And my wife was like, "Well, you can do that later." I'm like, "No, I can't do that later because I'm I'm in a procrastinating. So I have to do that. I set my clock for Friday just to do this, So, procrastination would cost you a lot. Some people end up, getting late payments, NSFs. We talked about the secondary credit bureaus where we think an NSF of $35 or $25 fee that the bank charges us is not recorded, but there are actually secondary credit bureaus that actually report your NSF and late fees. So those things that build against you, and while you're procrastinating, it actually hurts you financially as you try to go to your bank and get additional funding, either for you or your business if you're trying to build business credit. And they're looking at these secondary credit bureaus and see that you have 1,000 NSFs or you have 1,000 late payments. Those things hurt you. Spending, again, you continue to spend more than you earn. Debt, again, your debt balloons. You paid it down by using the strategies that would teach you, but you turn around and buy more consumer stuff, and now you're crushed by your debts and you can't find a way out. Most businesses, especially, and I've talked about it before, credit repair businesses and things like that. And I'm not a credit repair business, I'm an investment, but I try to teach people about credit and how to leverage their credit in order to build. But most credit repair businesses will tell you 99% of their customers are repeat, because they'll get them in a situation where they clear up their credit and their credit profile. But again, they balloon their debt and they're crushed by their debt. Now they're making missed payments or not paying on time, or they get charge-offs and those type of things. Instead of learning how to stand on your own and pay those things off on time, or leveraging the thing that we teach in as far as velocity banking. Taxes, big thing for business owners. Again, we talked about this, commingling personal and business expenses. Those things, again, you're procrastinating and trying to take the shortcut way. I don't want to write myself a check for my business and send it over to my personal. I'm just going to transfer this, or I don't want to pull out my business credit card and pay for this. I'm just going to use my personal to buy my business expenses. And just procrastinating and those type of things end up hurting you when it comes to taxes. And again, your bills is that you miss payment deadlines, and those things hurt you. I had a guy, he actually went to go ask for a credit line increase on his business side. And not only did they say the account was too new, but he had a late payment. And not that he only missed it by 1 day, but that late payment of procrastinating, not setting up an auto draft, actually hurt him. You know what I'm saying? So again, procrastination can lead to financial mistakes by not focusing on finances in your credit profile from the methods that we're trying to teach you here. And I only have a couple more slides, so bear with me, guys. Last one is JOB. Most people is just over broke. Most people think a job's going to make them rich. And I know we have some doctors and lawyers and stuff like that, and they seem to be financially secure. Everybody heard about Robert Kiyosaki's book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Even though he had a job, he was making good money. The money he was making, he was also spending. So if you're not learning how to create passive income to actually invest and make your money grow, and your spending continues to be poor, and your debt balances are high, your taxes and all those things like that, you're just over broke, man. You're literally just living just over broke. You're living paycheck to paycheck. You keep continuously doing the same thing over and over again. Okay. I've put those two slides that you see, they're most of the same topics with procrastination and just over broke. I want to make sure everybody knows I use the same thing. Procrastination, just over broke. Okay. All right. The last slide I was gonna have is not believing in yourself. So I just want to make sure I read this out. When you don't believe in yourself, it's most likely that you're afraid. Afraid to be yourself, afraid to put yourself out there, Afraid that you may be criticized or scared that you're going to fail. A lot of times when we're men and we're in relationships, a lot of times we're scared to make sacrifices that we need to secure a financial bag for our family. And again, we're afraid that we're going to mess up the business, or your wife is going to look at you funny, or society, or somebody's going to look at you funny, you know. But however, again, there is no reward without risk. I risked everything to learn the strategy, and I'm Brandon. Tell you, he started slow, but he jumped out there when he seen how good it was. You know, I did the same thing. You know, move slowly, and move with wisdom, but make sure you move. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you move, but you have to believe in yourself. You have to believe. And again, like I said, I'm the one that jumps off. You know, and I put in here. You know, sometimes I play with my wife, and she'll tell you. I always say, "You don't believe in me," and she's like, "Of course I do." You know what I mean? Silly. And you know, just those type of things I play with her. Sorry, I got nailed is biting me. But you have to make sure you believe in yourself and move yourself forward financially wise in order to be successful. I know, you know, on the opposite side is relationship wise, women and men that's in relationships. If you do not believe in your partners that can handle the finances or the responsibilities in the household of the bills, you know, I've talked about this a lot of times. I need my men to start stepping up in this relationship because 99% of the women are taking care of these bills. But then at the same time, the women do not trust the men enough to take care of those responsibilities because you're scared he's going to belly up or mess something up. You have to believe in yourself. And when I'm saying believe in yourself as partners, you have to believe in each other too, in order for y'all to grow financially, in order to move to the next step. Okay. And lastly, I just want to say to be great or to not be great, that decision is yours. However, if you choose not to release your brilliance, unlock the real you, and share your gift of leadership, it will cost you not only professionally, but it will cost you financially. You know, confidence, leadership, and success all to go together like eggs, flowers, and milk that make a cake. So you have to believe in yourself. All right. These are our debt weapon coaches. You know, if you have any questions or want to learn more about what we teach over here, please feel free. If anybody have any questions for me tonight, as far as velocity banking, mortgage notes, business, taxes,
Yep.
refinancing.
Well, I know we're gonna do a Q&A, but again, we just want to be mindful of the time. It's like 8, so we will take questions, but we're only gonna take like 2 questions or 3 questions, and we're gonna ask you to raise your hand if you have a question, because I know everybody want to ask a question. So that old saying, we can all sing together, but we can't all talk together. So if you have a question, please raise your hand. We're only gonna take 2 or 3 questions because we want to stay focused on the time. So if anybody has any questions at this time,
I believe there's 2 in the chat.
oh, there's 2 in the chat. Okay. All right. So the first question is, in your first example on refinance, how much do you save by chunking rather than by just paying your monthly cash flow each month toward the principal? So basically what he's saying is, and Ed, if this is not correct, please you can unmute yourself and jump in. So basically what he's asking you, if I chunk, how much money am I saving by doing that rather than taking my cash flow and paying it on my principal balance?
So Ed, it's the same concept as far as chunking and paying your principal balance. However, in our program, you always have to have your money liquid. Okay. So what the whole method is, and the whole thing, that's how I built my wealth, was I made my money liquid. So a lot of times what happens is, all right, so you take your cash flow, your monthly cash flow that you have left over, right? Now, this is the money that you have left over. This is the money that you're going to live off of. This is the money you're going to go out with. This is the money you're going to buy food, dinner, lunch, whatever with, gas with, right? I take that $2,500 and I drop it to my principal only. Now I'm butt out. I don't have any money left over to my following paycheck, right? However, if I use my line of credit, either my line of credit, I use my credit card. Some people use business credit cards. Some people use personal lines of credit, business line of credit, right? So remember, if I take $2,500 from my credit card, I'm at $10,000 from my credit card, and I pay $2,500, right, my first month back down from my cash flow. That $2,500 that I paid back to my cash flow is now liquid. I can use that $2,500 again in case of emergency. Not only that, I had a spread, because remember, I was 20. I'm a numbers guy, Ed, so I always like to speak with numbers. Give me 1 second here. I'm just going to round my numbers up here. I'm just going to round my numbers up to 25,000. I know it was 24.5. Well, I'll do 24.5 once my calculator pulls up. All right, sorry. Ed, you with me?
Yeah.
All right, so remember, let me close this one out. My computer got a freeze on it. But anyways, I'm just rounding it up to 25. I had $25,000, right? I took $10,000 off of it. So now I still have a $15,000 spread in case of I need new car, tires, my car breakdown, whatever happens in life, right? I have $15,000, and plus I'm going to pay back. Is they still not moving? Plus I'm going to pay back $2,500, right? I mean, $2,500 every month. Now my money is liquid. I'm not losing my money by paying that extra cash flow to my outstanding loan. That's the whole reason that we do this method this way. We always use our line of credit. We always use OPM. We always use other people's money in order for us to build financial wealth. If I go buy a mortgage, I'm not going to use my cash flow. I got money. I'm not going to use my money. I'm going to use the bank's money, right? So that's what we're teaching. So I have $25,000, and then I take $10,000 off, and I chunk it to my principal, to my HELOC, to my mortgage. So now I have a spread of $15,000, right? My first month, I'm going to pay back $2,500. Now I have $17,500. My next month, I pay back $20,000, and again, I get back to my $25,000, right? This is liquid money. If anything happens in my life, then I can use it again. Not only that, his HELOC originally was for $81,000. So his spread is actually even larger. We don't recommend going over the 25 because it's going to hurt your credit score. But if he had to go 50, 40% of his available HELOC, he actually could. If he had a property that he knew, hey, I found this property is $60,000. I have an $81,000 line of credit. I know going over this utilization that you said is going to hurt me. However, I got to get on this bill. By all means, do it. He still has a spread of $21,000. Make sense? I'm not losing my $2,500 every month. I'm actually gaining money every month. Sorry, that text message. Anybody else got a question on that?
Yeah, so the other question was basically about if there's going to be a course on mortgage note brokering.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you want to answer that, or if you want me to just go ahead to make me, I can share those slides about the levels.
Oh, sure. You can still share it, but yes, we are having the mortgage note brokering course. Whoever asked me that, Patrick, is going to be on the line next week as a guest speaker.
Oh, that was from Hannah. Hannah asked that question.